On February 13th, 2009, a brand new kids channel was brought into the world. It's sad to watch it nowadays, though. I can hardly believe it myself, but on this day, 10 years ago, Disney XD was launched. By far my favorite kids channel and once a kids TV titan in its own right. But no one talks about it anymore, so what happened? The rise and decline of Disney XD goes all the way back to its origins as the replacement for Toon Disney, which lived for just under 11 years as effectively Disney's answer to what was then Nicktoons Network, even though that rival wouldn't launch until 2002. Toon Disney faced serious channel drift in its later years. Didn't everyone in the 2000s? Due to the launch of the Jetix action-adventure programming block, which brought live-action programming to the channel for the first time. It's the same complaint that occasionally pipes up about Nicktoons to this day whenever they put on, like, Henry Danger for a few weeks or something. Disney XD launched at midnight on February 13th, 2009, one day before the 5th anniversary of the launch of Jetix, and set the bar pretty high for itself, might I add, diving right into it the premiere of its first original series, Aaron Stone, airing at 7 p.m. that night. Remember when 7 p.m. wasn't a crazy sounding time slot for premieres? International versions of Jetix were rebranded to Disney XD over the following year or so, and new versions of the channel were also launched to complement existing local versions of Disney Channel. Disney XD originally set out to aim squarely at boys, as Disney Channel slowly became more female skewing, for better or for worse, over the next few years, something they're only slowly returning from now. The network's early years were rocky. I doubt that the early live-action originals would stack up now, but they were doing pretty solid animation-wise, with Jimmy Two Shoes carried over from Jetix, plus Kick Buttowski in 2010. Their acquisitions, like Fort Boyard, Ultimate Challenge, and Raid A for Awesome, were sort of all over the place, but going in the right direction. The channel's early years were kind of all over the place, but they put in the effort to make the channel work, something that many channels that would launch after Disney XD would fail at in some way or another. By 2012, however, the network truly hit its stride with the beginnings of a real golden age for the channel, which would last through the meat of the decade. Some of the channel's most memorable series, the Lab Rats franchise, Mighty Med, Kirby Buckets, Randy Cunningham, Pen Zero, you name it, came out of these formative years. Plus, this was also the time where Disney XD not only invested heavily in making their own content, but also acquiring great series from abroad, at a level and consistency no other kids channel has likely matched before or since. Disney XD served as the US home for Slug Terra, Camp Lake Bottom, packages from Planet X, Boyster, Counterfeit Cat, Fangbone, and Atomic Puppet, which, while they may be underrated to some extent, were still consistently solid series. The channel's transition to having a heavier emphasis on animated content around mid-decade, not entirely dissimilar to the Toon Disney of yore, did little to hurt that momentum. Everything changed, however, 2 years ago. A grim period for the channel I've previously referred to on this channel as the Great Fire of 2017. Nearly every current series Disney XD had was burned off at a startling pace, hence the name, and what was left was either pushed to Disney Channel or left to die in the desolate schedule that remained. The previously flourishing and somewhat eclectic mix of originals and acquisitions was replaced largely with toy-based anime franchises, chief among them Disney XD snagging the rights to the Pokemon franchise from Cartoon Network. Along with the anime were the remnants of the Marvel franchises, which have actually been a part of the channel since its beginnings, though back then it was a much more subtle part of the lineup. Now with the schedule stripped bare, these series were more prominent almost by default. The network itself grew increasingly disjointed and directionless, and not in a good way. There's just really no real effort put into it anymore. Now, as we head into 2019, Disney XD's 10th anniversary year doesn't feel like much worth celebrating. What original series were left are drying up, and the channel is looking increasingly desperate to maintain some semblance of relevance, as sadly exemplified when the channel brought back older series, including some of their mid-2010s hits, to the channel last summer. As someone who basically grew up on Disney XD and lived through its mid-10s golden age, it hurts me, personally, to see the state of Disney XD today. Disney really succeeded, in my eyes, in bringing a fourth player to the traditionally three-player kids TV table, a feat no other channel that's tried has done since. I would love nothing more than to see the channel be invested into again and have real effort put into offering an amazing programming slate. Seeing the channel rate similarly to the likes of Nicktoons and Teen Nick, which have been wastelands of this variety for years, is painful to recognize, because I feel that Disney XD can do so much better. Sadly, it may not have a chance to, as over the past couple of years, signs have been pointing to an overall minimizing of Disney XD's presence. The channel's European feeds, some of them the first to be rebranded a decade ago, are now all running the same cookie-cutter schedule continent-wide, killing off, for example, the variations seen previously on the channel's UK feed. It's even been reported that the French and German feeds have been merged entirely. Disney closed down the 24-hour version of Disney XD in the Netherlands last summer, the channel now reduced to a daytime time-sharing arrangement on male-skewing entertainment channel Veronica. The Australian version of the channel closed on January 6th, one of the first international TV channel closures of the year, with the remnants of the channel being merged into the local Disney Channel feed. And just 3 days later, on January 9th, Disney XD India was shut down and rebranded as Marvel HQ, a new channel centering around the various Marvel franchises. Some armchair speculators believe that this might be the end results of all Disney XDs internationally, though personally, I have my doubts. Disney XD was once an outstanding channel, showcasing a mixture of entertainment that probably wouldn't have aired anywhere else. I don't think any other channel before or since has been so accommodating to international imports, and Disney Channel still has a long way to go before it feels welcoming to the male viewers it began to shun a decade ago. At its best, there was no other channel like it, and honestly, I don't think there ever will be one like it again. I'm still hopeful that someday either Disney XD or another channel will create the perfect blend of programming worthy enough to carry on the bright green torch. But for now, all we can do is stand by, holding back our tears and our fond memories as Disney XD lies on life support. It'd be gut-wrenchingly ironic if Disney XD were to close now, as at the end of the year, Disney XD will be the same age that Toon Disney was at the time of its demise. 10 years, 10 months. Give or take a few days. What were your favorite moments from the past 10 years of Disney XD, and do you think the channel has a future? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. I'm Benzie Johnson Jr., I'm enthusiastic about television, and I post new videos every single week. Hit subscribe to explore more with me, and I'll see you in the next one.